no, based largely on the way you appear, because that's the only information they've got. So Lenny Chamberlain went to jail for life, 15 years, for bad body language. That's what it was. 4 years later, the baby's body was found and it had been killed by an England. The case was true, and she was released from jail and paid a large amount of money for false imprisonment. But what it shows you is how powerful this medium with face-to-face communication is. That if you don't get it right when you're trying to impress somebody, how you can lose everything, including going to prison. On the other hand, I've seen people who you remember the O.J. Simpson case? O.J. Simpson's experts, his body language advisor, I knew to him, advised him to sit there and show no expressions. So the jury really couldn't sort of get a handle on whether this guy was feeling any emotions about the case. And he got off, even though the whole of America said, yeah, we reckon he did it. The evidence showed he did it, but he didn't reveal that he did it. Does that make sense? Which is back to, can you lie to people? Yes, you can. And professional actors do. Politicians. In every country, on TV they say, are our politicians lying? Well, 84% of people don't believe politicians. Why would you ask such a silly question? How do you know a politician's lying? His mouth is moving. Simple. Okay, question.
What's your impression about Moldovan people? What do you think about Moldovan people?
Oh, from Moldova, okay. The question was, what's my interpretation of the feeling I get from Moldovan people? Is that in terms of body language? Well, in most of the Eastern Bloc and ex-Eastern Bloc countries, which were largely Russian for a long period of time, there are similar things that happen here that you won't see so much in Europe or in the West. For example, if you look at your political background and history, you can see where some of these things may have evolved. There is a far greater tendency in these cultures and here to do what's called masking in public, to remove expressions from your face. Now, you'll see this, we saw this in hunter-gatherer societies, again in Borneo and Africa, when if a hunter's lost from his tribe and he encounters tribesmen from another tribe, he doesn't know them, the first thing he will do is remove his emotions. So he doesn't want them to see whether he's weak or he's injured or he's frightened, so he masks. And in fact, men masking of their emotions is a universal thing for most cultures. And its history makes sense. I mean, it's a way of protecting yourself against other guys in public. As a result, I'll show you the body language of a modern Moldavian man showing happiness. Are you ready? Here we go. This is happiness. Now I'll show you sad. Now I'll show you very interested. Now I'll show you excited and aroused. Now all the women here know exactly what I'm talking about, because your whole life is filled with this, right? Your life is full of a guy face to face, you're trying to work out, what's this guy thinking? And you're getting nothing. So one of the strategies we teach men in business encounters, because in the world now, and certainly in the Western world and in Europe, 50% of women work. Many of those women now are in high-ranking positions of authority. The world has changed dramatically, and where it hasn't, it's changing. And women are now moving into positions of business and high-ranking authority. And 50% of the world's population is opposite sex to you. Did you know that? 50% of the world's population is opposite sex. And they're called opposite for a very good reason. They're opposite. They're not the same, they're opposite. And if you don't know how to present your case to the opposite sex, to present an idea in such a way they find it interesting and motivational, then you have lost that 50% of your potential market for persuading and selling whatever it is you have to sell. So what we teach men is how to communicate with women face to face. Do you want a simple example on this? Okay, I'll give you. Are you listening in English?
spaniole.
Okay, in Romania?
Yes.
Okay. What's your name, please?
Victoria.
Victoria, thank you. Now, what I'm going to ask you to do, Victoria, in a moment I'm going to ask you to come and join me up here at Valentin. I want you to give I'll tell you what I want you to do. I want you to give a 4-minute speech. Okay? Put your headphones back on there. Okay? I'm going to ask you to give a 4-minute speech. I want you to give a 4-minute speech on the future of Moldova as you'd like it to be. Now, I'm not going to ask you to do that. I'm not going to do that. You said, she looked like she's ready for it, didn't she? Okay. Take a seat. I'm going to show you what I saw. Okay, sit down, Victoria.
What's our European?
No, you don't give a speech. No, you take a seat now. I won't ask you to do it. I'm going to show you what I saw. I said with my palm up. Now, palm up's very important. When you talk with your palm up, people are persuaded to do what you do more than any other position because you're non-threatening. Like, if I ask the people here to move here, and the people there to come here, there's a good chance you'll do it. But if I do this, if I ask the people here to move here, and the people there to come here, chances are you won't do it now. So this guy's telling me, if I say, the people here come here, sit here, they're coming, you give me a rude position. So just by modifying one position with my hand, I completely affect your reaction towards me. We know that presenters and professors and teachers who talk in a palm-up position have the highest retention of their audiences of information and are seen as the easiest going. Presenters who talk with the palm down are seen as authoritative and telling the audience what to do. Finger pointers are seen as aggressive and have the least retention of their audiences. So I put my hand up, just like monkeys and chimps, no weapons concealed, no rocks to hit you with or throw at you. So I said, what's your name? What's your name? I want people to feel positive. What's your name? As opposed to, what's your name? Yeah, they won't respond. So what's your name? She said, she crossed her arms and held hands with herself. And she said, Victoria. I said, Victoria, I'm going to invite you to come on stage in a moment, give a speech. And she went, her face was in conflict. The emotions were, she was thinking happy, sad, excited, fearful, all in one. Now, the important thing that we found with this is that when you put a spotlight on a woman, this is cross-cultural. There's practically no cultural differences in what I'm talking about here. A woman will start to emote. She shows you her emotions, which is a guide to what she's feeling. But if you do the same thing with a man, for example, this gentleman here in black, what's your name, please? Ruslan. Okay, I'll show what I saw. He was sitting there watching. So, what's your name? Ruslan. Ruslan. Victoria? Now, this is a very important, very significant differences between the sexes will respond when they're put on the spot, as it was, which we develop into a strategy. What do you do about this to capitalise on this if you want to persuade them? Well, let's assume that they both come up and they give a short speech and that they're going to go outside in a moment and tell their friends outside who are not here, they're going to tell them what happened. Now, when he goes outside, he shows no emotions. So his friends don't know something happened. He has to tell them. He says, you will not believe what just happened to me in that room. And they say, what was it? Whereas when Victoria goes outside to see her girlfriend, she does not have to tell them something's happened, does she? They can see something's happened. Because when she leaves the room, she looks like this. There are minor changes in her behaviour that her female friends will detect that something's not right. So they might be like this. One of yours is this. Under pressure. So she's nervous. So her friends, her female friends see her and they go, they begin to mirror, they copy her. Now mirroring a person is a way of creating rapport. See, when you're with all your friends people you like and admire and respect, you mirror, you stand the same way, use the same gestures, the same expressions, same movements. This is a strategy that if you intentionally mirror the person you're with, you don't mirror negative gestures, but mirror the rest, copy it all. They get a feeling, something about you they like, you know. And when I first met you, I just liked you. Well, the chances are you've been mirroring. And this is a very powerful way of warming people up. So they begin to mirror her to support her emotions. When she's close enough, they say, "Are you okay?" Which a female indirect talk means, "I can see you're not okay." That's what it means. See, when a woman says, well, Barbara said to me last week, there's one of these new movies on. We've got 6 kids. And there's one of these new Shrek movies just coming out. And Barbara said to me, "Would you like to go and see Shrek 4? So, the girlfriend said, "Are you okay?" And she says, "You won't believe what just happened in that room." Her friend's saying, "What happened?" She says, "Well, this guy gets me to stand up and unprepared and speak for 3 minutes on the future of Moldova." And the female friends go, "That's a couple." That's a female response. You imagine if when this gentleman here says, "You won't believe what happened in here," we say, "What was it?" He says, "The guy makes me stand up and speak to everybody with no warning." We say, "You must be feeling stressed. Come here, let's have a group cuddle." We wouldn't do this. So then that brings up the strategies that we develop that work extremely well with the opposite sex. If a man is stressed, he's uptight about his day or about something that's happened, as a woman, your natural position is to try to comfort the guy and make him feel okay. That's your default position, if you like. But it doesn't work. So if he says, "This guy made me stand up and give a speech," you say, "Oh, come here, I'll give you a big cuddle, a big hug." He thinks that you think he's weak. Big mistake. Do not share a man's emotions if he's upset. Big mistake. What should you do if you're a woman? Well, what do men do? How do men make him feel okay? What we do is we support his solutions and conclusions. So he says, "This guy made me stand up and give a talk." So he states the problem. He says, "I will not sit in the front row next time." There's the solution. So we support him by supporting his solution. We say, "Thanks for the tip, we won't sit there too." Right? So if a man's upset about something, don't say, "You poor fella, come here." What you say is, "Whatever the problem is that's happening, I know that you can fix it. I have faith in your ability to get through this. I know you can do it." Does that make sense? You support his solutions. Then you give him a hug or more. Now, with a woman you don't do that. You only support her emotions. And here's the problem. As a typical man anywhere in the world, he might respond, let's say that Victoria told him what happened. "This guy made me give a speech and I had to go for 3 minutes and nobody told me." And he's listening. Now he gives a solution. "You need to take a public speaking course, that's what you need. Let me lend you a book on speaking." Ladies, did she want a solution to a problem? No. She wants you to share her emotions. Here is, as a trained man, which I am, how I would support her. It's very different how I would support you. I'd say, "What happened?" "No." In front of everybody? "Oh, you must have, oh." Do not do this in front of other men, gentlemen. Don't do it in front of him, he won't like this. You're going to think you've got a serious problem.